Ever wondered what's stirring up between Iran and Israel recently? Well, let's take a deep dive into the escalating tensions that have been making headlines around the world. Our story begins with a drone attack on an Israeli oil tanker off the coast of Oman. The tanker, owned by Israeli businessman Edan Ofer, was hit by a bomb-carrying drone, causing minor damage but no spillage of cargo. Israel pointed fingers at Iran, suggesting Tehran's involvement in the attack. Fast forward to a few months later, the Israeli forces struck an Iranian consulate in Damascus. This move was seen by many as a retaliation for the drone attack on the tanker. The US, while reiterating its support for Israel's defense, stated it would not contribute to offensive strikes against Iran. This Israeli strike was a game-changer, marking a shift from sporadic incidents to a more direct confrontation. In response to the Israeli strikes, Iran launched a well-choreographed attack involving hundreds of drones and missiles towards Israel. Despite the scale of the attack, there were no reported casualties in Israel, but this didn't reduce the gravity of the situation. The attack was a clear message from Iran, demonstrating its capabilities and willingness to retaliate. In the wake of these events, Israel's airspace was closed and citizens were advised to stay at home, a move indicating the seriousness of the situation. Both sides seemed to be treading a fine line, trying to avoid escalating the conflict into a regional war. But with each incident, the tensions only seemed to be increasing. The US and other allies of Israel have urged moderation, but the situation remains volatile. Iran's media downplayed the Israeli drone attack, suggesting they may not retaliate further. But the question that lingers in the minds of many is whether this is the calm before the storm. As the world watches with bated breath, the question remains, what will happen next? If Israel were to strike Iran, how might they do it? This question has lingered in the minds of many, given the escalating tensions between the two nations. Israel has a long history of meticulously planning strikes on Iran's sensitive locations, carefully considering each move like a grandmaster in a high-stakes game of chess. Israel's strategic planning has always been rooted in a calculated approach. Any response to Iran would need to be measured, not to ignite a full-scale conflict. This is not a simple task. It's like walking a tightrope where one misstep could plunge the region into chaos. So what are the potential high-value targets that Israel might consider? Well, they could target Iran's military bases, nuclear sites, or strategic infrastructure. However, it's important to remember that it's not just about selecting a high-value target. The chosen target would need to be valuable enough to send a clear message to Iran, but not so valuable that it would warrant a severe military response from Iran. This brings us to the key question: how could Israel strike? There are several options at their disposal. They could launch airstrikes, conduct cyber attacks, or even unleash a naval assault. Each option comes with its own set of challenges and potential repercussions. For instance, airstrikes would require the use of long-range stealth jets, which would need to navigate a complicated route to reach Iranian targets. The jets would have to avoid detection and potential confrontation, making this option a high-risk gamble. On the other hand, cyber attacks could potentially disable Iran's defense systems, making them vulnerable to further strikes. However, this would reveal Israel's advanced cyber capabilities, potentially exposing them to counterattacks in the future. Lastly, the naval option would involve deploying Israel's advanced submarines to strike at Iran's coastal facilities. However, this would put Israel's naval assets at risk and could potentially escalate the conflict. So it's clear that Israel's next move would require a delicate balance of power. The stakes are high, and the world watches with bated breath as this geopolitical chess game unfolds. But what hurdles might Israel face in launching airstrikes? Let's delve into the geographical and political challenges that could arise. Firstly, the sheer distance between Israel and Iran is a significant obstacle. At their closest point, the two are over 560 miles apart, and most of Iran's military and nuclear sites are over 1,000 miles away from Israel. This distance necessitates the use of long-range aircraft, such as the F-15I Ram and F-35I Adir stealth jets, which would likely need to refuel during the mission. However, refueling isn't the only issue. The potential flight paths present their own unique problems. Saudi Arabia and Jordan, for instance, are unlikely to grant Israel permission to use their airspace for an attack on Iran. This is because such an action could potentially draw these nations into the conflict and inflame domestic opinions already critical of Israel's actions elsewhere in the region. So what routes are available? One possibility would be to fly down the Red Sea and around Yemen and Oman to reach southern Iran. But this is a lengthy detour, adding an extra 2,920 miles onto the journey before even reaching the Iranian coastline. A faster route might be across Syria and Iraq to reach northern Iran. But this option comes with its own set of challenges. The Israeli Air Force would need to suppress Syria's air defenses, either through jamming or a cyber attack, similar to the successful operation against Syria in 2007. Yet using such a technique could reveal a major capability in Israel's arsenal, something it might be reluctant to do outside of a strategically important moment or at the start of a conflict. These are just some of the geographical and political hurdles. Add to this the risks of detection due to external fuel tanks on fighter jets, which could make them visible on enemy radar, and the potential for enhanced Iranian defenses, and it becomes clear that a direct airstrike is a complex and risky operation. Clearly, a direct airstrike is fraught with logistical and political challenges. Could cyber warfare be a potential solution for Israel? Now, this is a question worth pondering. Israel has a history of using cyber attacks as an alternative to traditional warfare. One of the most notable instances was back in 2007, when Israel reportedly switched off a large section of Syria's air defense radar network before destroying what it claimed was a nuclear reactor being built in Syria. This cyber attack effectively weakened Syria's defenses, paving the way for a successful airstrike. Now, could a similar strategy be employed against Iran? It's a possibility. After all, cyber warfare offers a certain level of stealth and precision that traditional warfare often lacks. It can target specific systems, disrupt military operations, and even cause physical damage to infrastructure, all from a safe distance. However, there are risks and limitations to this approach. One of the key challenges is the potential for retaliation. Iran has its own cyber capabilities and has previously been accused of launching cyber attacks against various targets, including Israel. If Israel were to launch a large-scale cyber attack against Iran, it could trigger a cyber war, with both nations trading digital blows. Another major factor to consider is the element of surprise. Launching a cyber attack of the magnitude required to significantly impact Iran's military capabilities would undoubtedly reveal some of Israel's own cyber capabilities. This could potentially give Iran and other adversaries valuable insights into Israel's cyber warfare strategies and defenses, which could be exploited in the future. Moreover, cyber attacks are not foolproof. They rely on finding vulnerabilities in the target's systems, and there's no guarantee that a cyber attack would be successful. Even if it were, the effects might not be as immediate or as dramatic as a traditional airstrike. While cyber warfare could provide a strategic advantage, it's a card that Israel may not want to play just yet. This game of geopolitical chess continues, and the world watches on, wondering what the next move will be. So, if airstrikes and cyber attacks are risky, what about a naval option, you might ask? Well, let's dive into that. Israel's naval forces, although often overshadowed by their air and ground counterparts, are not to be underestimated. They possess a range of capabilities, from submarine-launched cruise missiles to advanced naval radar systems. These assets could potentially be used to launch targeted strikes against Iranian facilities, infrastructure, or vessels. However, this approach is not without its own set of challenges. Firstly, the Persian Gulf is a heavily militarized and closely watched region. Any significant naval movement by Israel would be quickly noticed and could potentially escalate tensions further. Additionally, Iran has a large and capable navy that could pose significant risks to Israeli vessels. Secondly, there's the matter of distance. While Israel's submarines are capable of long-range operations, they would still need to traverse several thousand kilometers to reach Iranian waters. This would require careful planning and execution, and any missteps could lead to a disastrous situation. But despite these risks, there are potential benefits to a naval approach. For one, it could allow Israel to strike at Iran indirectly, avoiding the need to breach Iranian airspace or engage in direct combat. This could be particularly useful if the goal is to conduct a limited strike that sends a strong message without escalating the situation into full-blown conflict. Moreover, the use of naval forces could provide a level of deniability, at least initially. In the murky waters of the Persian Gulf, it can be difficult to immediately attribute a strike to a specific nation. This could buy Israel some time to assess the situation and decide on its next steps. However, it's important to remember that these are all hypothetical scenarios. The decision to use naval forces in this manner would be a significant one, fraught with potential risks and uncertainties. As we can see, Israel is faced with a complex decision, and the world waits to see what their next move will be.
The genesis of Israel's naval power is a fascinating tale of strategic foresight and technological innovation. At the heart of this tale is the development of the Dolphin-class submarines, a fleet of vessels that would redefine Israel's maritime strength. These submarines are not ordinary naval vessels. They are German diesel-electric crafts renowned for their silent operation, making them perfect for coastal operations. The Dolphin-class submarines are masterpieces of stealth and endurance, capable of running quietly and remaining submerged for weeks. This endurance is due to an advanced feature known as air-independent propulsion, or AIP, which allows these submarines to stay underwater for extended periods while stalking potential targets. One such potential target that has been in the crosshairs of these submarines is the Beshad, an intelligence-gathering command ship belonging to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Positioned until recently near the mouth of the Red Sea, the Beshad was ordered back to port and has since been located just outside the naval base at Bandar Abbas. Even though the Beshad is now protected by shore defenses in home waters, it is not invulnerable. The Dolphin-class submarines are equipped with a land attack variant of the Popeye cruise missile, the Turbo Popeye. This missile can be launched underwater through the submarine's torpedo tubes, has a range of up to 217 miles, and can strike targets with precision. These submarines are not just about offensive capabilities, though. They form a crucial part of Israel's nuclear deterrent strategy. There are reports of an advanced version of the Popeye missile with a range of up to 932 miles. The latest version of the improved Dolphin-class submarine even has a vertical launching system in its sail, allowing for the launch of longer missiles that carry more fuel and therefore have a longer range. These submarines were just the beginning of a new era in Israel's naval prowess. The ability to strike targets from international waters, then submerge and disappear, offers a strategic advantage that is hard to counter. It's a testament to Israel's foresight and commitment to maintaining its security and sovereignty. These submarines were just the beginning of a new era in Israel's naval prowess. A remarkable evolution took place with the Dolphin-class submarines. This evolution was not merely about physical modifications, but a technological leap that amplified their capabilities significantly. One of the most striking additions was the integration of air-independent propulsion, or AIP. This technology, incorporated into the latest submarines built for Israel, revolutionized the way these underwater warriors operate. Air-independent propulsion is no ordinary advancement. It's a game changer. It allows these submarines to stay submerged for weeks, enhancing their stealth and endurance. Imagine a predator silently stalking its prey, invisible and patient. That's what AIP brings to the table for the Dolphin-class submarines. They can linger undetected in the depths, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. But what does this mean in practical terms? Well, it significantly broadens the range of potential targets. With the ability to stay submerged for extended periods, these submarines can venture further into areas previously unreachable. They can lurk in the shadows of international waters, ready to strike at a moment's notice. And it's not just about the targets they can hit, it's also about the ones they can avoid. With AIP, these submarines can bypass traditional maritime choke points, reducing their risk of detection. They can take the road less traveled, so to speak, and still achieve their mission objectives. Moreover, AIP enhances the Dolphin-class submarines' strategic value. They can be deployed for longer missions without the need for frequent surfacing, which not only extends their operational range, but also their utility in intelligence gathering and monitoring enemy movements. They become the eyes and ears of the Israeli Navy, providing crucial information that can shape the course of military decisions. But remember, technology is just a tool. It's the skill and strategy of the personnel operating these submarines that truly make them a formidable force. They are the ones who transform these subs from mere vessels into lethal weapons of war. The Dolphin-class submarines have certainly evolved, but what makes them a formidable force? That's the question we need to explore next. Stay tuned as we delve further into the capabilities that make these subs a cornerstone of Israel's naval power. The Dolphin-class submarines are not just technologically advanced, they have specific targeting capabilities. Today, we delve into the ocean's depths to examine the potential targets of these stealthy predators. One such target that has been on the radar is the Beshad. This isn't just any ship, but an intelligence-gathering command ship that belongs to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC. The Beshad has been at sea for 3 years, and its strategic location at the mouth of the Red Sea near the Bab al-Mandeb Strait made it a point of interest. However, it has been ordered back to port, and recent satellite imagery places it just outside the naval base at Bandar Abbas within the Strait of Hormuz. Despite being in home waters and under the protective umbrella of shore defenses, the Beshad is by no means invulnerable. In the silent depths, the Dolphin-class submarines lie in wait. These subs are armed with a land attack variant of the Popeye cruise missile, the Turbo Popeye, which can be launched underwater through the submarine's torpedo tubes. The Turbo Popeye has a range of 200 to 350 kilometers, or 124 to 217 miles, making the Beshad well within its reach. The Dolphin-class submarines are part of Israel's nuclear deterrent strategy, and there are reports of a version of the Popeye missile with a range of 1,500 kilometers or 932 miles. Furthermore, the latest version of the improved Dolphin-class has a vertical launching system in its sail, allowing for longer missiles to be launched. These missiles hold more fuel and therefore have a longer range. The submarines could easily attack Iranian coastal targets from international waters, then submerge and disappear. The target would have to be significant enough to make a statement, but not so large as to invite a response from Iran. These submarines are more than just machines. They are strategic players in the game of naval warfare. These submarines are not just silent stalkers. They are armed and dangerous. Let's take a closer look at the armament of these stealthy sea warriors, the Dolphin-class submarines. These impressive vessels are equipped with a land attack variant of the Popeye cruise missile, known as the Turbo Popeye. This isn't your average missile, it's a game changer, capable of launching underwater through the submarine's torpedo tubes. Imagine an underwater predator, silent and unseen, capable of launching a deadly strike from the deep. The Turbo Popeye boasts an impressive range of between 124 to 217 miles. That's a vast expanse of sea over which these submarines can assert their dominance. But it doesn't stop there. Reports suggest a version of the Popeye has a range of over 900 miles. Now that's a reach that can make potential adversaries think twice. But what makes the Dolphin-class submarines even more formidable is their role in Israel's nuclear deterrent strategy. These submarines, lurking unseen beneath the waves, carry the profound responsibility of nuclear deterrence. A task they are remarkably well equipped for. The latest version of the improved Dolphin-class submarines comes with a vertical launching system, or VLS, in its sail. This allows for longer missiles to be launched, ones that hold more fuel and therefore have a longer range. This upgrade in armament and range significantly enhances Israel's strategic capabilities, providing a robust and credible deterrent. So, while these submarines are ideal for coastal operations, their true strength lies in their potential for deterrence. They can strike from international waters, hit their targets, then submerge and vanish, leaving no trace behind. The target would have to be significant enough to make its point, but not so large that it invites a response from adversaries. Armed and ready, these submarines are a testament to Israel's commitment to protecting its interests. In the chessboard of international relations and warfare, the Dolphin-class submarines are Israel's silent knights, ready to make their move when called upon. The Dolphin-class submarines continue to be a crucial part of Israel's naval capabilities. These formidable machines, with their advanced technology and stealth capabilities, are more than just vessels. They are strategic game changers. Currently, Israel has 5 of these Dolphin-class submarines at its disposal. These German-engineered diesel-electric subs run quietly, making them ideal for coastal operations. 2 of the latest subs are equipped with air-independent propulsion, or AIP, allowing them to stay submerged for weeks as they stalk potential targets. One such target that has been in the spotlight is the Beshad, an intelligence-gathering command ship belonging to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Up until recently, the Beshad was positioned at the mouth of the Red Sea near the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. However, it has since been ordered back to port, currently located just outside the naval base at Bandar Abbas within the Strait of Hormuz. While the ship is now in home waters and protected by shore defenses, it is not invincible. The Dolphin-class submarines are equipped with a land attack variant of the Popeye cruise missile, the Turbo Popeye, which can be launched underwater through the submarine's torpedo tubes. These missiles have a range of between 124 to 217 miles, making them a potential threat to the Beshad. These submarines are also part of Israel's nuclear deterrent, with reports suggesting a version of the Popeye missile has a range of 932 miles. The latest version of the improved Dolphin class has a vertical launching system in its sail, allowing for longer missiles to be launched. The potential implications of an attack on Iranian coastal targets from international waters are far-reaching. It would be easier to strike, then submerge and disappear. However, the target would have to be significant enough to make a point, yet not so large as to invite a response from Iran. The question remains, will Israel risk a full-scale war while it is already fighting on 2 fronts?